Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Actually, happy first Saturday. I'm going to get myself together here before I head out to just spend some time with Jesus in front of the Blessed Sacrament. I'm gonna whip up something to eat because I'm feeling a little hungry. As you guys see in like all my videos, I'm gonna take out my handy dandy calendar slash planner. This one's the best, the Agnus, I don't think I'm gonna say this right, the Agnus Dei. Latin is not my forte, as you can see, tan books. I'm gonna sit down with this and with some food, and I'm going to look at kind of what my priorities are for the day. So I'm sitting here with my delicious little yogurt bowl. I feel like I've been getting more into the fruit vibes just because I know spring isn't here yet. And as you guys saw, it's very icy out there, it's still very snowy. It doesn't quite feel like spring, but we're supposed to be getting 60s later this week. Just the fact that we're in March, which is so exciting, just has me really craving fruit. But as I mentioned, because it's First Friday, I'm going to be heading over to my parish in about 15 minutes to stop over for adoration. A couple other things on my list today is to go through and cancel some of my subscriptions because I'm really trying to be better with my money. I really have cut out online shopping almost 100% now. Only if it's an absolute necessity will I really go shopping for myself. So another way that I can cut back on expenses is by investigating what kinds of money has been coming out of my bank account every month secretly under the radar. I'm also planning to either today or Monday send some of my information about like who I am as a therapist to my local diocese so that they have it, so that they can give my information to anyone in the area who might be seeking therapy services from someone who is Catholic. There seems to be a bit of a shortage, it seems. Counselors, therapists who are Catholic, or at least who are like outwardly putting themselves out there as a Catholic option for people who are seeking therapy. Which is a side note I did want to mention to any of you who might be watching this, who might be thinking about therapy, or maybe you're like, oh, I can't find a Catholic therapist. is it really worth it? If I'm going to be with like a secular therapist, I would recommend to go to your local diocese and contact whoever's basically in charge. Ask if they have a Catholic therapist directory, because that is something I found out recently exists in my diocese, in my archdiocese even, that they have a Catholic therapist directory. So of course, being a Catholic and a therapist, I was like, well, I have to get my name on there. It opened my eyes as a therapist, of course, but also what an amazing outlet for you all in whatever state you live, wherever you might be, or if you don't live in the US, maybe you live elsewhere. Again, whatever like local resource there exists in it, kind of in the form of a diocese, I would encourage you to go there, get in touch with them, and inquire about their therapist directory. And here's another little challenge, which is probably what I would do if the directory didn't exist here in my state and in my county. I would encourage you to maybe ask your diocese, especially if they don't have a directory, I would maybe ask them to maybe create one. Let them know that that is something that would be helpful for you, and not only for you, but for countless other people, most likely in your state or county, who could benefit from just having a quick reference guide list of Catholic therapists that they could potentially be matched with and start working with. Also, if you are watching this and you are like a Catholic therapist, maybe even two, this could maybe be a way for you to get more outreach towards people who are seeking your specific perspective as well. That was a little side note, but I've been meaning to share that with you guys. I'm glad I was able to do it at last. Super quick fit check before I officially head out. Miraculous medal with a little cross. I absolutely love, love, love this dress. It has slight little, what do they call, like bell sleeves? I don't even know. Some brown leggings. They're actually fleece lined, so they're super warm. Not sure why I felt a little bit fancier today, but this is what we're doing. This is the purse that I'm bringing with me to adoration. I love to bring a notebook with me anytime that I go to confession, and it's the same thing for adoration. So I'm just gonna bring this little notebook. If anything comes to mind, or if God puts anything on my heart, then I don't have to go on my phone and type in my notes, because I just don't like using my phone in general when I'm in a church. And then I'm also going to bring a book to read, which is the one I've been working on, The Lessons of St. Francis by John Michael Talbot. Oh, I'm out of breath. Now clearly back home, as you can see. That was amazing and much needed. Today was just one of those days as far as adoration goes where, you know, I brought my book and ultimately didn't end up doing anything except sitting there in silence, praying and just being still. And I love that about adoration and being in front of Jesus in the Eucharist, that there really are no rules in that regard. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can go in and you can just pray, and that's the way it is, right? God just speaks to you in prayer. And then there are other times when having a book or something to facilitate a little bit more thought or a little bit more reflection or prayer is kind of what you're feeling, or it's what God kind of puts on your heart to do. And today was just a stillness, quiet, and prayer day for me. Sorry, there's a spider, I think, on my ceiling. Anyway, sorry. Something that I was personally reflecting on that connected to one of the like daily reflections that I did this morning, that God is really asking and waiting and inviting for a relationship with me and with you uniquely specifically. In this little bit that I read this morning, talking about how St. Catherine of Siena is known for describing God as being crazy in love with us uniquely, specifically. It struck me as I was sitting there. It was like 11:15 by the time I got there. I was sitting there with Jesus and just being with him, right? The act of being with, and not trying, not forcing, not striving, just being with. And it just really reminded me of human relationships, right? When we think of our loved ones and the people that we care for, and how we set aside ample time, or at least hopefully we're able to do so, if we really care for this person and we want the relationship to thrive, we set time aside to simply be with, right? And if we are really comfortable with our loved ones, right, and we feel like we are safe and we can be ourselves, then we don't feel the striving, we don't feel the pushing, the forcing, we just can be with them. And that's what matters. Being with them is all that we are seeking. The activities or the things we do or what is exchanged or said, it's like the cherry on top. Sometimes it's just being with another person that is the most beautiful thing, and it's the gift that you're giving to the other person and to yourself. And I'm thinking about that and I'm like, oh my gosh, how many hours in a week, how many minutes in a day do we set aside to spend time with humans, right? Human people who are alive on this earth with us right now. And then I think about Jesus, who is the perfect person. He's the perfect God. He is the perfect one to be with and not feel like we have to rush, force, strive, push, anything. We can literally be with and never have to question or wonder if we are doing things right, say the wrong thing. I mean, the list just goes on. My gosh, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, have I been neglecting the number one relationship in my life? Here's the most perfect one, right, who is waiting for that time with us, and we give it so easily to these humans in our life, which of course are so important too. It really hit me how little time I am really devoting, truly devoting to being with Jesus compared to how much time I'm devoting to being with others in my life. Now, I don't want to neglect others in my life at all. I want to continue being with them as much as I possibly can. But when I think of all the other things that I do during my days and during my weeks, granted, yes, work is a thing, right? I am not a nun who has like these set hours or times throughout the day for really devoted time with Jesus. But what are some other things that I do during my day that is maybe just work extended, right? That I don't really need to be doing, or extending the amount of time that I spend doing hobbies, right? Where of course I want to do some, but can I just reel it in a little more? You know what I mean? How can I rearrange my time a little bit and create more balance? I think that's the word, balance. But also looking at my calendar, like each week, each month, really making sure that he is prioritized. Like when I'm figuring out which days I'm gonna do what, creating my to-do list and, you know, scheduling out my time, like he should be getting that hour. You know what I mean? When I think of like the holy hour, he should be getting that hour and he should be getting more. And so, I don't know, I guess I'm just thinking that moving forward, I would really like to actually take more seriously doing a holy hour and spending a holy hour with Jesus weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, something, just to do a little bit more and just giving him more time and being with my number one. Okay. God is so crazy in love with us, and am I acting like I am so crazy in love with him? And I think that's the question for me, at least. And when we are so crazy in love with a human, what do? We want to spend so much time with them. We put aside hours and hours in our days, in our weeks, to be able to be in their presence because we want them to know that we love them, but also we want to experience what it's like, right? We want to experience that love, that feeling that we get when we're around this person that we love. And so why am I not doing the same thing with the perfect love being Jesus, right? And I think to act more crazy in love with Jesus in my life should look like dedicating far more time to being with him, just simply being with and showing him again through that act that I love him and am crazy in love with him. And also in return, right, feeling his love and knowing that his love is reciprocated. And that's where true peace is found. It's in him. That's where I am most at home. I know that's where everybody is most at home in their hearts, even if we don't know it yet intellectually, because he is home. Jesus, he is home, and he is our number one love. As you can see, I got a big load. Get my whites laundry going. While that is going, we will tackle the unsubscription adventure. Laundry is going. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for, it's usually like a 37-minute experience in the washer on the clock. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some investigating for my unsubscribing process, and it is getting warm, so I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna grab a little notebook just so I can kind of take notes on things. I'm going to look through Apple credit card statements, bank statements to see where there has been consistent money just flowing out. So let's look at my subscriptions. Hallow, Catholic Meditation. Definitely will be keeping this, especially because I'm doing the Hallow Pray 40 challenge for Lent. So this I'm gonna keep. The apps that I was kind of on the edge about, I'm going to write down on my little subscription audit list. So the Hatch app, $49.99 per year. Oh, the Intercede app, $29.99 a year. Lose It is $39.99, and Visco is $39.99 a year. Grand total that I pay a year for these 4 apps that I'm on the fence about, $159.96, so basically $160. I'm going to explore what the pro features are that I'm actually paying for, compare them to the free versions, and then make my decisions from there. My gosh, I am so glad I am doing this. I'm already identifying that so many of those paid features I no longer use. These are clearly a waste of my money, these 3 right here. Cancel subscription. Cancel that. So I just did the math. After canceling those 3 subscriptions, I am now going to be saving $119.97. So basically $120 just saved this upcoming year because I canceled 3 of those subscriptions that I really didn't need. That was only the apps through the App Store. So now what I need to do is head over to my bank statements my credit card statement and my emails, and just see if there are these hidden little subscriptions hiding somewhere that I'm also paying for example, through like a website. I'm gonna go ahead, do that research now, not bore you guys, and then I'll come back when I have that subscription audit list made. Update, I am honestly pretty floored, and I wish I had done this research sooner. For starters, number one, I have been paying like $64 a month for this royalty-free music subscription to allow me to put music in my vlogs. Around $64 a month I've been paying for probably a couple of years now. So I've been subscribed to the Pro plan. There is a creator plan that is around $50 less per month. So I've been paying this much per month when I did not need to be. OMG. The other subscriptions that I'm getting rid of actually includes Amazon Prime, which I pay $15 a month for. And then the last subscription that I'm getting rid of, digital art creation website that I tested out for a couple months. It hasn't been doing anything for me. I don't need it. So in total, with these 3 subscriptions alone, just these 3, I've been paying just under $100 per month. $98.72 is now going to be saved per month. After getting rid of the subscriptions that I am now getting rid of, I will be saving $108 per month. $108 per month. I shall be saving $1,304 a year. That is how much I've been paying towards subscriptions that I wasn't using. So this is a win. That's the moral of the story. If you have not sat down and done a good old-fashioned subscription audit, I would so recommend you do, because as of today, I'm going to start saving $1,304 a year and $108 a month. That can be going towards so many other things. This is a great day. I will take a pause and share with you guys what my commitments are for Lent this year. Now, I want to just preface with saying that this is just what I have chosen to do. It's based on kind of what I felt on my heart to give up, to take on, etc. Every Lent for me has looked different. You know, just because I'm doing certain things doesn't mean that you should be doing them or should be doing something similar even. Really, Lent is so personal. We're called to pray, fast, and give alms. But kind of what that really looks like and how it takes shape for everybody, I think is really different, and that doesn't make what I'm doing any better or worse than what you're doing or someone else is doing. So I just want to put that out there before I get into this. So I've decided to commit to, as you guys have seen, filming these weekly vlogs for you guys. That is something that I just decided I wanted to finally commit to, posting weekly on here and really getting to share a little bit more of my life, getting an opportunity to talk more about God and what Lent was kind of looked like for me this season. The second thing is no Instagram or Facebook. If you couldn't tell, I'm clearly the in-between generation because I still use Facebook, but I'm also an Insta girl for sure. Also, I am not eating any like sugary treats, so like no desserts, no baked goods, no candy, chocolate, because I am such a sweet tooth. Next, I decided to give up secular music, so I'm only listening to instrumental music or Christian music. So that could include K-Love, like K-Love Radio, if you guys are familiar, which is more like the mainstream Christian pop, I guess. But then also Catholic music, so Catholic hymns, Gregorian chants, another one. Shout out to my favorite Catholic singer, one of my favorite Catholic singers, John Michael Talbot. Next, as you guys have seen in my vlogs, is I'm doing the daily Hallow meditation. So every day I go on to Hallow and I just pray with their Pray 40 challenge, and that's in like the 10 to 20 minute range. The last thing that I have been doing is my weekly food donation. So every week when I'm out shopping for things that I would already buy for the week, I'm also buying something to give like a non-perishable to donate to the food pantry here in my town. Something else that I am doing that's different for Lent is that little Lenten daily devotional book. Well, that's it, you guys. I hope that you're having a blessed Lent so far. I look forward to hearing what you guys have also committed to. It is 4:12 right now and I am feeling just so exhausted that I know I need to do something to redirect the way that things are going. Because yes, we changed the clocks tonight, so we'll be losing an hour of sleep, but it doesn't mean that I should be going to bed now. But I'm so tired. I think what I'm gonna do to just kind of get myself up and moving again, to hopefully give myself a little extra boost of energy for at least a couple more hours tonight, as I'm going to do a little workout snack and I'm gonna do a little Zumba. So I love me some Zumba. It gets the heart rate going right away, a little bit of cardio, and again, hopefully that will give me just enough of a boost that I need to get a little bit more done tonight and not feel like I want to go to bed at 6 p.m. That 10-minute Zumba was exactly what I needed for that little jolt of extra energy to carry me through into the night. So I'm so glad I made that decision.